Hey guys, what we're going to do today is we are going to work on word prompts. We've done this type of thing before. Today we're really going to try to organize by setting up variables. So first one, youth trip. The youth group is going to a trip to an amusement park in another part of the state. The trip costs each member $150 plus $85 for the hotel pass. Hotel and 2 one-day park passes. Write an equation. So what we don't know is what's going to be our variable, and it's all about that park pass. So I'm going to say P is equal to the 1 day park pass. All right. So here goes my equation. There are two 1 day park passes. So I can think about the 2 passes plus $85 gives me a total of my $150 fee. Okay, so I'm setting up my equation. Now I am going to solve that equation and find an answer. So subtract 85 on both sides. And I get 2P is equal to 65. Divided by 2, P is equal to 32.5. So each pass cost $32.50. Okay, we've done this type of problem before. We set up the variable, 2-step equation, we solve and we answer. Okay, pretty straightforward. I think a lot of us are understanding these type of problems. The ones we're doing today are going to be more challenging because there's going to be seemingly more than one unknown, but they're going to be related to each other. So our big goal today and our big part of organizing our information is going to be setting up our variables. So example number 1, the ages of 3 sisters are consecutive integers. So consecutive integers are integers in a row, like 1, 2, 3. Integers are -2, -1, 0. So 3 integers in a row. The sum of their ages means we're going to add up all their ages is 45. Okay? Find their ages algebraically. So first I want to set up. There's 3 sisters. So I have the youngest, the middle sister, and the oldest sister. Okay? The youngest, the middle, and the oldest. So when I'm setting up these integers, even though there's 3 unknowns, they are related to each other. So if I say, all right, the youngest will be X. We don't know what the youngest age. But we know that they're consecutive integers. So consecutive means they're right in a row. So the middle, we can say, is the youngest plus 1 more year older, right? So that is, so if the youngest is 10, the middle would be 11. That would make the oldest 2 years older than the youngest. So there are my consecutive integers. Starts with a number I don't know, then I add 1 to it to get to the next integer, add 2 to it to get to the third integer. Right? It's set up there, the sum of their ages. So I'm going to add the youngest plus the middle plus the oldest. So the youngest is X plus the middle, X plus 1, plus the oldest, X plus 2, gives me a sum of 45 years old. Okay, so this becomes a algebraic equation where I'm having X, a plus X, a plus X. I can combine like terms, and I have a plus 1 and a plus 2 to combine like terms. So this becomes 3x plus 3 is equal to 45. Solving as I have been doing, subtract 3 from both sides. 3x is equal to 42. Divide by 3. X is equal to 14. So what does that mean? Well, if I look back at my original, that means the youngest is 14. So these girls' ages are 14, 15, and 16. Okay? So it says solve for the ages of all 3 sisters. They are 14, 15, and 16 years old. So we can see in that example, we really wanted to set up the 3 unknowns, but again, they're going to be related to each other. So here it is. Perimeter of a rectangle is 30 inches. If its length is 3 times its width, find the dimensions. All right. So the two things we don't know are length and width. So I'm going to set up these as my variables. Okay. Length and width. All right. And now when I set up my variables, I want to make, it says the length is 3 times width. So it's comparing the length to the width. So if I make the width W, the length, it says, is 3 times that. So if I do 3W. Now I have the rectangle here. I'm going to label my rectangle. So there is a width, the length, a width, and a length. Okay. It says perimeter is 30 inches. That is adding up all the sides. So I have 3W plus W plus 3W plus W is equal to 30 inches. Okay. So here we go. Combine like terms. 3, that's a 1 plus a 3 plus another 1 gets me 8W is equal to 30. Okay. So if I divide by 8, W is equal to 3.75. So the width is equal to 3.75. That doesn't give me the length yet. So I'm going to take my width, right? So my width is 3.75. My length is 3 times 3.75 because it's 3W or 3 times the width is 11.25. Okay? So the length is 11.25 inches and the width is 3.75 inches. All right. So we're going to see each one of these. We are taking our time setting up the variables. And this next one is a lot when we read it, but we really got to break it down. It says Julia Keller and Israel are volunteer firefighters. On Saturday, the volunteer fire department held its annual coin drop fundraiser at a streetlight. After 1 hour, Keller collected 42.50 more than Julia. Israel had collected 15 less than Keller. Altogether, the 3 fighters collected $125.95. How much did each person collect? So it says the amount of money Julia collected is J dollars. So we are comparing everything to Julia. Write an amount for Keller. So up here, let's see what it says about Keller. Keller collected $42.50 more than Julia. All right. So Keller. Julia, they told us, was J. $42.50 more than that is 42 plus 42.50. Okay. The next one says use the expressions to right above. So I'm using the Keller expression to sugar. That goes right there. It says using expressions for Julia and Keller, write an expression to represent the amount of money Israel collected. So I could say Israel collected K minus 15, but then I'll have 2 different variables, and that's not going to help me out. But I do know it collected 15 less than Keller. Well, Keller is equal to J plus 42.50. That's the amount that Keller made. Okay? We know that Israel collected 15 less than that, so I could take away 15. Or I could simplify that by adding 42.50 or subtracting 15 from 42.50 and saying Israel is Julia plus 27.50. So here I have our 3 people. I'm going to add Julia, just J, plus Keller. Okay, that is J plus 42.50 plus Israel, which is J plus 27.50. Give me a grand total of $125.95. So there is the equation that I am going to solve. I'm going to solve it by combining like terms, J, J, and a J. So I have 3J. Next, I'm going to put together the constants of 42.50 and 27.50. 42.50 plus 27.50 is 70. So that is equal to 125.95. I solve that to get 3j is equal to 55.95. I divide both by 3, and j is equal to $18.65. Again, great that I found that answer, but now I have to figure out what each of them have made. So we have Julia. She was J, so she is $18.65. We have Keller. He was Julia, right? Remember this, go up to this one, plus 42.50. So Julia plus 42.50. Okay. So if I add carry the 1, that means that Keller made $61.15. And then we had Israel, that was Julia, right? Plus 27.50. So I add those together, 5, came out to $41.15. If I add all those three up, okay, it's going to come to my total. All right, we're going to try some more of these problems, and we'll do more of these on Monday as well. All right, guys.